In this video today, I'm going to be quickly going over technological displacement. Now, this concept is an economic concept, but it is relevant to AI and it is very relevant to small to medium businesses that have yet to use AI. So let's quickly go over the concept here. The easiest way to explain this is using your phone, okay? You probably have an iPhone. This iPhone encapsulates lots of functions in your business, in your life, in your whole world. The main functions of this, though, we can list out very simply, okay? It's a clock, it's a phone, it's a camera, it's a light, it's a flashlight. It's a music player. These are the base functions of the phone, okay? These are the most used functions, parts of the phone, okay? You might say social media, well, that's not really something that it replaced. That's sort of like new. It's brand new here. It's not really relevant to technological displacement. The concept of technological displacement is that any technology that is new, that displaces an old technology, will encapsulate the value of the entire market of that previous technology it displaces. Here is the example. You take your iPhone, okay? iPhone's made by Apple. What's Apple worth? $1 trillion. $1 trillion. Okay. How did they do that? Is it because they made the best phones? It's like, they made the best phones, but BlackBerry made the best phones. And they didn't hit $1 trillion, okay? Before then, I'm sure it was something else, okay? Bell made the best phones, but they didn't hit $1 trillion. What's happening here? How is Apple able to, with a phone, hit $1 trillion company value? Here's how. They don't just replace your phone. We call it a phone, but it's kind of a misnomer. It's not really a phone. It is your clock, it's your phone, it's your camera, it's your flashlight, it's your music player. It's how you text, it's how you email. It's everything, okay? It's how you store your photos. So if you take that, you say, okay, well, previously, now the best example of it encapsulating an industry is the clock industry and the calendar industry. These industries were boutique industries that existed that just made clocks and calendars. Now, this is crazy to me, okay? I'm 24 years old. I remember a time when every house I walked into as a kid, every building I walked into, there was a clock in the room on the wall. And it's just not there anymore. Like, at some point between 8 years old and 14, the calendars on the wall and the clocks on the wall disappeared. They evaporated because they weren't in use anymore, because everyone had their calendar and their clock and their phone in their pocket, okay? These industries, whoever's company was making clocks, I don't even know the company names because they're so irrelevant today because of the displacement here. The clock industry probably was comprised of $100 billion to $50 billion worth of company value. How many companies were there that were making clocks? They just made clocks, cheap clocks, very cheap clocks. How many companies were there? You think it was less than a $10 billion industry? I don't think so. They were ubiquitous. Every building had one, at least one. So you say, okay, well, this was 10 billion, okay, at least, okay. Probably, if I'm honest with you, probably more like 50. The phone company, how big are the companies that are making phones? Like, think about this. Every household in the world, I mean, in all first worlds, had a physical landline. And you might say, oh, we have physical landlines still. You're the exception. I don't remember the last time I walked into a place that had a physical landline that wasn't an office. And the only reason the physical landline is there is because those companies that have a physical landline haven't figured out how to just do IVR transfers to an app on their employees' cell phones. That's the only reason. Because it's an unnecessary expense. The landline is gone. It's dead. It's going to be dead. In just a few short years, it will be completely irrelevant as a product. And as of current, economically speaking, it is irrelevant as a product. Because of its irrelevance, the landline phone companies that were manufacturing the phones, I don't mean the telecoms, I don't mean the people who were manufacturing the phones, what was that industry worth? What do you think that industry was worth? 50 billion? It has to have been. It was the primary way to communicate. This has to have been a $50 billion industry. The camera industry. When was the last time you bought a camera? Never? In recent memory, when was the last time that you purchased a camera? Probably 15 years ago? Like 10 years ago at best, when you still had an old phone? The truth is, the camera industry's gone. And that's because the cameras on our phones are so good and they're so adequate. Normal people don't need a camera anymore. We went from every mother wishing they had a camera to take a photo of their kid. There's no wishing. You have a phone. It's got your camera on it. This industry has to have encapsulated with all the companies in it, with every camera sold, every model. It has to have encapsulated $100 billion in value, and the iPhone essentially eats it. The flashlight industry, kind of an innocuous industry, right? Like, oh, who's buying flashlights? Everybody. My grandfather has flashlights. He has a cell phone now. The only reason he doesn't use the cell phone flashlight is because he doesn't know how to turn it on the cell phone. But he has physical flashlights. I don't know anyone else who has physical flashlights, except for like very specific use cases for work, like a headlamp. I don't know anyone else who has a physical like flashlight, like a Scooby-Doo flashlight. I don't know anyone. And the thing is, this industry was not small. They were producing probably hundreds of billions of dollars of revenue across the entire industry. So what's the industry worth? Probably another 100 billion. These were ubiquitous. Every house had multiple flashlights. You needed them. What if the power went out? Not anymore. You don't even think about it. Music players. How big were music players? They were gigantic. There was a Walkman. There was the disc one. I don't know. Look, I don't know actually what a Walkman is. All right, I'll be honest with you. I just heard the name once. I just know it played music. But like there was a Walkman. There was the Discman. There's like the small radios. I had a small radio that had like headphones and it used the headphones as an antenna. I had one of those when I was a kid. The music player industry is gone. Who's buying a music player for an iPod? If you're going to buy an iPod, you just buy the baseline iPhone. You know, for very specific use cases, you might buy an iPod for your kid. Most people wouldn't even consider it. They're going to buy the phone. Because why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they just buy the phone? It's going to last them longer. It's better quality. It does everything the iPod does. The music player industry was probably another 50 billion in total industry value. Lots of people had them and they were charging a premium. And the iPhone ate that. And the calendar industry, again, it has to have at least been the same as the clock industry, another 10 billion at least. And these industries have essentially been consolidated into this phone. So you take all of these and you add them up and you end up with if all of this value is condensed down and you say this is what it's worth, okay? And we say 10, 60, 160, 260, 310, 320, okay? 320 billion in value is consolidated, excluding all of the other features, on top of the fact that it's a recognizable brand, on top of the fact that the product is good to use and something you want, on top of the marketing, on top of the infrastructure, on top of the ease of life. The iPhone, without any of that, is worth 320 billion off of functionality that I've listed here, let alone what I've missed. Okay, this is the basic general concept of technological displacement. Okay, this is the basic concept. With that concept outline, I want to quickly go over the ways that you can use this concept to benefit your business with the implementation of AI. Okay, now AI is kind of a buzzword. It's kind of something that's ethereal. It's not really tangible to most people, and it's not something that they would ever consider actually implementing, mainly because for most people, AI is Google. Okay, that's what it is. It's Google. You can search things on it. What happened last week? Yeah, I don't know what you're searching on ChatGPT. I don't know. But that when was Big Bird created? Where is Sesame Street? It's like that's what we're using it for. Like, we're using it for Google. That's really what we're doing. And then you might say, well, based on all of the writings of Edgar Allan Poe, what do you think he would feel about the Tom Brady trade to the New York whoever's? I don't know. You should make something up, right? The truth is, GPT and AI is actually just a basic algorithm that is extremely computationally heavy because it has access to it and it's allowed to be. If that's the case, and it's just an algorithm, that means that we can train the algorithm to do what we would like. Meaning, we can implement it into an automated sequence for it to do repeatable tasks for us. You probably don't have the technological capabilities to implement that yourself. We exist, and we do implement those systems for people, but in this video, I just want to go over the concept of it, of how it could be used, okay? So a quick few use cases for AI, okay? There is voice, there is chat, there is data, and there is filtering / interpret. Okay. These are the 4 main use cases in terms of a business with AI in its current form today, 2024, in October, okay? These are its main use cases. Voice is voice AI. You've all seen the AI receptionist, okay? The AI receptionist videos. The truth is, the AI receptionist is just the tip of the iceberg. The actual implementation for this is going to be in your support, it's going to be in your retaining, it's going to be in your upsells to your customers, it's going to be in calling the leads as fast as humanly possible the second they come in, inside of working hours, when it's possible, to extract the most value out of them. Because even with the lower quality of the voice AIs versus a sales rep, you don't have to train the voice AI. You don't have to get it to work again. There's not the need to manage it in the same way. There is not the overhead of its expenses, its insurance. Even though it is probably 15% as good as a sales rep right now in its current form, it can do 1,000 times the volume in a day that the sales rep can do in a month. And you might say, well, my guys have they have a predictive dialer. They can do 2,900 a day, 5,000 a day. Like, they still can't keep up. The AI has 10 concurrent lines that it can act on as a singular agent. That means if you have multiple AI agents, it's 10 concurrent times 2. It's every 2 employees, every 2 agents that you duplicate, you literally just duplicate, you get 10 more active lines concurrently. Meaning, this voice agent, in like a day, can rip 100,000 dials because it can do 10 conversations at once instead of you having to do them sequentially as a sales rep, or your sales reps doing them sequentially one after the other. They can't have 2 conversations at once. Impossible. Doesn't matter if they can dial 3 times more. They can't have 10 at once. This AI can have 10 at once. And much the same as the chat, okay? The chat and the voice AI, the use case is actually the exact same. It's your support, it's your outreach, it's your follow-up, it's not missing a message, it's being able to schedule at 11 p.m. when somebody texts the number and no one's at the office. That's the use case for it. These use cases are probably some of the most significant value extractions that you can have from your own business. You're going to be gaining just by implementing a very rudimentary and a very, very, very normal, super easy, not crazy system for voice and chat. You're going to be gaining 5, 10, 15% on all of your appointments. On top of that, you're going to be adding more follow-ups. You're going to be adding the ability for reschedules to happen like that based off of a reschedule. Your appointment has been cancelled. When would you like to reschedule to? Oh, I like May 15th. Okay, cool. Bing, bang, boom. And the AI books it. That's the real use case for it when it's 11 p.m. at night, okay? How many appointments are you missing? You might say none. I would guarantee it's more than none. I would guarantee it because we've implemented this and we've seen the improvements ourselves. This is extremely important. These are the main use cases right now for AI. These are the ones that we're seeing the big businesses use it for. If you're small to medium, use this. If you are medium, you'd like to be big, this is where you need to be looking. The data side, okay? So this is going to be including things that are like management of data, storage of data, retrieval of data. The things where it's like, how do I get this data more easily? How do I make this more accessible? Let's make a report every month. Let's make sure we catalog the reports, and then we'll be able to reference the reports instead of the entire spreadsheets. And then we can take the reports, we can make summaries out of every 10, and then every 10 reports can be condensed into one single page. That one single page we can then store. So we're literally getting, okay, cool. So it takes 10 spreadsheets, it takes 10 documents, down to one. Okay, cool. So we're getting a magnitude of 100 documents you can save. The truth is, what you need to do is you need to implement the AI for data retrieval, data management, data transfer, these kind of things, because this is extremely time costly and time intensive, and on top of that, it's extremely burdensome to manage your data over a certain point. You may not think it. If your business is like, you don't really exist on the internet, if you don't really exist with like spreadsheets, if you sort of just exist out of all your sales reps, like cell phones and like laptops and maybe a spreadsheet, okay? If that's how you're existing, you don't have that much data, okay? This isn't a use case for you. But if you do think to yourself, man, we do have a lot of data. You know, I do worry about those files. You know, those files, I do worry about those, having physical copies and digital ones. What if the drive like goes away? What if the cloud goes away? This is what you need to use it for. You need to create what is essentially your own LLM. And now this is a process that we can do for you. This is a process that you can probably do for yourself if you really wanted to. You're just going to put all of your data, all of your information, all of your documents labeled and cataloged. Now, this is going to take weeks probably. If you're at a point where you actually could use this, it's going to take weeks for you to do and hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the benefit on the other side will be that every document going forwards, the standard procedure, instead of taking it, copying it, filing it, or putting it into the spreadsheet, scanning it, uploading it to the cloud. Instead of all of that, you literally just upload the document once you receive it, once it's filled out, upload it to the LLM, and then bang, you're done. Now you have the LLM. Every single employee has access to the LLM remotely. I need data for Lehman Brothers third quarter 2021. And it can just, well, here's the document, here's the source. That's it. That's the way that you need to be using it for your data. For filtering and interpreting, this is actually more complicated, and it's the kind of thing that we don't recommend you implement on your own because it's extremely hard to get correct. But if you do get it correct, then you will be able to see the benefits that our clients that we have implemented it for have seen. The filtering and interpreting is in regards to deal flows and interpretations of spreadsheets, balance sheets, data for insights. Okay, so the main use cases have been the consultants that we work with and the venture capital, private equity, family offices, these people that we work with. Okay, these people have seen the biggest benefits from it. And if you're the kind of person who's doing a roll up, if you're the kind of person who is looking for investments, if you're the kind of person who's speculating really at all or using data to extract insights from something, then using this is going to be a way to implement this into your business so that you are not being technologically displaced by the fact that you can only do one, while this system in someone else's business can do 100, okay? Implementing this is going to save you. This system essentially consists of a few filters, a few yes, no's, and a few GPTs that can extract information from a document that can then condense it down into a summary, much the same as you would manually, into a summary of data interpretations, and then based on those interpretations, which are created by GPT based off a rule set that we upload to the GPT, it can then put those into another GPT that will create a full list of the interpretations from the data as opposed to just the summary. Output it into a format that you find acceptable, some document template. That's how we end up with the output filtered data. Okay, these are the ways that you're going to protect yourself from the technological displacement of AI. And if you aren't looking to use AI to save yourself from it, you're already behind. The truth is, AI is coming for all of us, and there's only a few ways that you can save yourself. There's maybe personal touch is going to be the thing. Oh, well, you can't replace a human touch. I don't know. A lot of things that were human touch oriented have been replaced pretty easily. Okay. Look, personally, we are right now in the middle of talking to another agency that is in the middle of implementing a voice AI system for all of AT&T, for all their support. That's got to be 100,000 jobs, 100,000 people. That's the kind of thing where you say like, oh, okay, well maybe the human touch thing is not enough to keep this as a thing that exists still, because the cost savings are so beneficial to the business. They're not going to make it, oh, can't replace the human touch element. If you're saving 99%, you can find a way to justify it. So the truth is, in a world where AI is here, it is coming, and it's going to be better, you need to find a way to stop yourself from being part of the technological displacement that where AI is going to encapsulate your value. Right now, the company that is making the AI, okay, OpenAI, it only has 12 billion in revenue. Now you might say like 12 billion, wow, 12 billion. But the thing is, the company is being valued right now at market value of 500 billion. Now, like if you're familiar at all with any kind of company valuations, you're going to say, how is this possible? How? And if you're not familiar, this multiple doesn't exist. Okay, first off, you wouldn't multiply based off revenue unless the company's in extreme amounts of growth, which OpenAI is not. It's in extreme amounts of expansion, but the growth in terms of revenue is extremely flat. It's not growing. So you say 12 billion in total revenue, $500 billion company valuation. How and why? Here's why. Because of professional services. Professional services as an industry pretty much just encapsulates every single job that doesn't need to be done by a human being. It essentially just encapsulates every job that we do right now, and a human is essentially just the tool that we use to interface with the computer. It's legal, it's accounting, it's consulting, it's a lot of coaching, it's admin, okay? It's everything above the people doing the physical labor. Professional services, these are the industries that everyone is speculating AI will consume. This is why the company is projected for $1 trillion value in a year, even though its revenue is probably going to be like 15 billion. The reason is they're expecting some breakthrough that's going to have the AI immediately able to replace lawyers, accountants, advisors on everything, okay? That's what it's kind of hoping. And the technological displacement here, this industry is probably worth a little bit over $10 trillion, okay? That's what everyone's saying. They're saying, hey, this is what we're talking about here. This is why the AI company is worth money, because in the future, it's going to eat this. And the only thing left will be the electricians, the plumbers, the carpenters who are necessary to build the buildings. That's going to be the only people in terms of people who are employed. That's what the people who are speculating on OpenAI, that's what the people who are saying, okay, cool, this company is worth this much money, that's why the AI hype is there. They think that they're going to take over and technologically displace professional services as an industry, okay? Now, you have a chance in this very small window over the next few years to implement it. Now, I might be wrong, but I think we all know this is not some speculative, it's not going to happen, it's never going to happen thing. This is already happening. The voice AIs are here, you've spoken to them. The chatbots are here, you've spoken to them. The automations are here. You've heard about someone doing this, or you've seen them advertising that they can do it. You're looking at this video, which means you know that the automations exist because we use them to send you this video. This is here, it's coming, and it's only going to be more brutal the longer you wait. You have the chance right now to implement AI into your business, whether through us, whether through a different party, or whether through yourself, so that you can save yourself from technological displacement for at least a little while longer. Bide your time until you figure your new angle. If you're interested in that, click below. There's a calendar link in the description. You can book a call with either me or my business partner, Luke. We can go over all of the discussion, exactly what we could use AI for in your business, how we could help you. Thanks.